We're good? All right. Welcome, everyone. Joe Morton here, founder, board member of XANGO. Proudly saying I am XANGO. I got Beverly Hollister right next to me, who just lightens up every room, and we got Dr. Templeman in the room. We got Gordon Morton in the room.
A can, Dr. Templeman.
Yes, a can, Dr. Templeman. We got Yoko, we got Kelly, we got the whole team, Adam and Cliff and Jennifer, and we've got lots to support you here. We're excited to be talking to you from the home office of XANGO on an absolutely beautiful spring/summer day. We're kind of skipping right over spring, it seems like, and we're right into summer. It's absolutely gorgeous here, and we welcome you. Bienvenue from Canada. We have some French from Canada. It was kind of cool. We have mahalo for joining and aloha for our Aussies, for our Aussies. G'day, mate, for our Aussies down there, and aloha for our Hawaiians. And anyway, it was great to be with you today on this absolutely beautiful day. And we've got a lot to discuss today, folks. You're in for a treat. We're talking about Elevive. We're talking about 365 and omega-3s. We're talking about Limitless and Reload and some incredible promotions, some incredible Memorial Day, Memorial Weekend promotions that are going on, so you do not want to miss this call. We've got a lot to cover. Now, we've talked about these products in the past, and for those who have joined us, and I know there's a lot of new people on this call. By the way, this is a very well-attended call. It's very great to be with you today. Recognize that we're going to kind of highlight a lot of these things, but we've got a lot to talk about. Why? Because we have great promotions for the whole Memorial Day weekend that Yoko will cover at the end of this call, so listen up. Learn some new things from the Dr. Templeman himself, who's with us. We've got a great testimonial lined up to be joining us today, and we'll have a few thoughts at the end, maybe a few founder thoughts at the end, and we'll jump right into this. So, Dr. Templeman, here you are.
Do you want to do the testimonial first, or do you want?
I think we talk about Elevive first, and then we'll have that testimonial right after. How's that sound? You know, Elevive.
Yeah.
This is one of those. The way I'd like to refer to it as desert island kind of product.
Yeah.
You know, people will take this. I know I like it. I take it every single day, and I feel this. There's a lot that feel the same way. Why would this be? Why is it such a powerful product?
Well, you know, there are three things that will make me turn my car around after I've left home if I've forgotten them. My phone, my wife, and my yellow.
Your wife?
Well, it's happened.
It's a good thing you pulled out and driven away with it.
Fred, we love you.
The Elevive addresses concerns of one of three people who walk into a doctor's office. We used to call them the walking wounded because they had nothing to cauterize, nothing to cut off, but they weren't well. They were tired. They were stressed out. They were on the edge of depression, not to the point where they needed there were no indications for antidepressant medications, but there certainly was an indication to do something. And they were out of balance, and we could recognize that the out of balance was subtle, it was hormonal, and when the Elevive was conceived, it was conceived originally as a product for endurance athletes, to be able to help them in the recovery period that comes, because when you run a marathon, as you know very well, I mean, you're knocking your body down. You're knocking your immune system down. We'll talk about that with 365. But you're really knocking yourself down, and they need something to get themselves back up. And so it was a restorative, across the board, restorative. And the four elements that are in the product, each one of them has a tremendous documented value for the human body. But when you put them together, they meet the needs of stress, depress, energy. The Vigor score, which is a real score that you can, by the way, for those who are listening, you can go onto the website, and if you haven't been on the Elevive, you can do that Vigor score. And what's remarkable...
And they can find that, Yoko, on XANGO.com? Yes, okay.
And that score is something that really touches on all of the major concerns that the Elevive is going to address. And the interesting thing thing about it is that when we did the tests for the people, I mean, there are a number of studies out there, randomized controlled studies. They've been presented in 8 international conferences. So this has great documentation. But you can see in a very few days, this is one of the products where when people come in and they're feeling what they're feeling, and you say, document that, take this vigor score, and then they take the Elaviv within a matter of days, they can see the difference, and they can retake it and take a look at the difference in the 2 scores.
So why would that be?
Well, it's because all of the things that are there are absolutely natural. What they're doing truly, in the sense of supplementation, is taking what they aren't going to be getting from their diet in adequate amounts and giving it to the body, and it's just like dry earth. When the body has been deprived of things that it needs, you put water on dry earth and it is gone. Doesn't puddle, doesn't stay there. Same thing for the elements in Elaviv. They are what the body needs. It takes them immediately and it starts to use them immediately, and that's why you see the results as quickly as you do. But they're not there, and then you give them and the body soaks them up.
And so it helps it from a balancing perspective.
Sure
when
does.
we talk about Elaviv, we talk about balance.
That's right.
Mention that for a moment.
Well, the balance is largely hormonal. We have, as we age and as we go through life, we get an increasing amount of cortisol, which is an adrenal corticoid that we require during stress. But we don't require it being put out quite with the amount that it is as you gradually get a little bit older or as you stay in stressful situations. And it leads to obesity, it leads to fatigue, it leads to the stressful feelings that we get. We start to drop things like testosterone, which, by the way, for mental alertness and energy is necessary for both men and women, and so it's produced by both male and female bodies in adequate amounts. Well, the ratio between those two is sometimes very important to just have it at the right ratio. And what happens in situations where we have these people who are stressed, depressed, and tired is you get too much cortisol and not enough of the testosterone that's circulating released. And so this helps to displace the testosterone from the binding protein, and it helps to suppress the cortisol, and therefore has effects across the board in things like, it looks after some of the lipid problems that we get. And it also helps us not only with energy, but it helps us with brightness and vigor. The L-theanine is something that's got lots of studies on it to show that it helps students retain better, learn better. It gets rid of the brain fog.
Wow.
But I'd go back for my Elaviv no matter how far it was.
I know, it's a desert island product, and that's what we find. And as I know that as you talk to people and as we travel around, I'm sure you'll find the same thing, that people, this is one of those ones. Now, we have a testimonial, Kelly, on the phone. Is that correct? Who are we introducing right now?
My name's Christine Pierce from California. Christine, are you there?
I am here.
Christine, how are you? Welcome. I heard you chiming in. Why don't you share a little bit about your experience here, if you can take a quick moment?
Well, I was thrilled to find a product that has helped me as much as Elaviv has. I'm a middle school math teacher. Very, very busy days. I have 2 teenage sons, and I'm a wife. A lot of things happening in my life. A lot of different stressors hitting me from all different places. And I love the way that the Elaviv helps keep me at a much more even keel.
Mm.
It just takes the stress and somehow creates a buffer for me from the way that the stress used to hit me and the way I would respond to the stress in the past. So it just helps me be able to let things, ride over me more easily and take things more in stride, and also handle situations with more clarity, being able to just stop and look at the situation and see different choices and make the best choice. As opposed to in the past, unfortunately, when I hadn't always been able to be as calm and make the best choice. So I really appreciate the Elaviv. I've been taking it since it was first introduced, and I was lucky enough to have lunch with Dr. Sean Talbot at one of the luncheons that XANGO was kind enough to set up at a convention. And it just has made a big difference. Same as Dr. T, I will go back for my Elaviv, but now I keep it in my purse, I keep it in my classroom, I keep it anywhere that I'm planning to be just in case.
I appreciate that comment because I actually carry it in my carry-on bag, and I happen to carry it in my car. I have samples in those sample packages in my car. So I agree with you. Thank you very much for sharing. By the way, how many do you take? Do you take one in the morning, one in the afternoon?
I don't. I take 2 in the morning.
Okay. I actually take 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. I guess I'm extra stressed. I don't know. So,
on some days I take a double dose in the afternoon also, but usually I'm good with just 2 green tablets in the morning.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your personal experience with us, and we really, really appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Can I share a little more?
Well, certainly.
I have a brother. I have 7 brothers and sisters, and he and I are similar in that we're very passionate people. He would be more classified as a little bit more abrasive, a little bit louder. Well, with the Elevive, he has been able to, since New Year's, not yell. Which was his New Year's resolution. No more yelling. And he's just found it to be such a blessing where he can deal with all sorts of different work stresses and all sorts of different life situations. And he doesn't raise his voice. And I would have not imagined that to be true prior to Elevive.
Powerful.
When males are stressed to the point of serious anxiety or the beginnings of depression, it shows up as irritation. They don't cry. And so it manifests, but it manifests as irritation. And I have exactly the same reaction. I used to be a little bit volatile. Now I just call it, I call it my what the hell pill. The things are happening. Let me just say,
green pill.
Wow.
Fred.
Well, thank you very much for sharing both of those experiences. And I before we jump into our next subject of 365 and omega-3, I hope everyone who's listening right now is really taking advantage of this call and recognizing that you heard from a medical professional talk about this on a very specific level, talking about the elements of this product, and then you hear a personal experience. It's very powerful. And to recognize that how this can help you in your business. So as Dr. Templeman now goes into 365 and omega-3, I want you to think in your minds, how is this going to benefit my business? How can I get a person on the next call to help them with their business? Okay, so with that now, let's talk about 365 and omega-3. Now, there's a lot to talk about there, I know, Dr. Templeman, and you're going to have to refrain yourself because you could go on for hours here. But what you got some moments here to talk. Tell us. I know you're passionate about these products.
Well, we live in a society, unfortunately, where the North American diet is simply not adequate in the kinds of nutrients, minerals, the trace elements that our bodies require, that we used to be able to get from our food. There's a very good study that was done in California, and unfortunately, back in the 1950s, they didn't know how to look at all of the things that we consider important now. But they looked at some of the major things like vitamins, and they grew vegetables, the same vegetables on the same plot in 1950 and in 2003, and then they measured the content of what was in there. And what you'll do, if you go to a little article called Dirt Poor, you'll be able to find some of the evidence from this study. But it's interesting that we don't get what we need, and even the caboose on the train of knowledge, which is the AMA, they always come to conclusions after everybody else has decided that it's right. But the American Medical Association now, many years ago, said every adult American should have a multivitamin every day. That's an admission that our diets are just not good enough. Now, as soon as you say multivitamin, you can go anywhere. They're sold all over the place, and the quality ranges from disastrous to very, very good. But it's hard for the layperson to know what there is that makes the difference and makes it stand out. And the XANGO product is different for several reasons. One, we have dosages in there that other people hesitated. Now there are other multivitamins that have followed us, but they hesitated to put as much vitamin D3 in as we did when we knew what the science was saying. And this was a change from a previous formulation. So the flexibility that your company has shown to be able to move, like we did with the magnesium and the calcium in the women's supplement, it's just so much better when you can see that science is being followed and caught up with. So we have every vitamin in adequate amounts that the body requires on a daily basis, and none of them are synthetics. The body just looks at synthetics in a different way than it does natural things. And to be able to say they're all from natural sources is remarkable. We have two different sources for vitamin A, for example. We have a precursor, and then we have the actual vitamin A itself to assure that there's going to be enough of what you require. We have in the active defense complex, which is something that's in our product that is not in anybody else's. And so that's what sets you apart, besides the fact that everything is natural. Secondly, you have active defense. And active defense is something that really cannot be overemphasized for its value. When your body has a virus or a bacteria that breaches the boundaries of the body and that gets inside, the immune system is activated. But in the case of viruses particularly, it takes actually several days for the immune system to get completely up to speed. But if you are taking in the raw materials that your immune system has to create when viruses and bacteria come on, and that's what we're doing with the active defense complex, you're actually taking something in on a daily basis so that you have this on hand if there is a challenge. So it isn't boosting or keeping your immune system at a ultra active level, which is not good, but it's there like soldiers in barracks who are simply waiting for the signal to leave. And so we get that when there is an attack, the soldiers are there.
Great.
We don't have to truck them in. We don't have to fly them in. They're there. And so in the studies that were done, and they were done again in marathoners, in people who do have a suppressed immune system for a temporary period after the incredible physical exertion that they go through, and there was a comparison made between the people who did the same kind of running and our people when they were given the active defense complex. They simply didn't get the colds, the little problems with viral infections that other people did. And so once again, there are studies here. The product is different. It has resveratrol in it. It has all of the vitamins, all of the minerals in adequate amounts, in natural forms, and it has the prime active. If you were to go out and buy these ingredients separately on the market, which would be possible, you'd be paying twice what you're paying to be able to have this on a daily basis. It's a great product.
Love it.
Wow, that's fantastic. And may I add, a business opportunity associated with PV. Yeah. So it is an incredible value, I agree. So omega-3. Jump into omega-3 here, the power of omega-3. It's more than just heart health, isn't it?
Oh, it's much more than that. The body uses omega-3 and omega-6, which are what are called essential fatty acids, because we can't make them. So we have to get them from diet. And omega-6 and omega-3s are interchangeable. But when the body takes the 6 instead of the 3, it can't make cell membranes that are as flexible. It has a byproduct of the metabolism of the omega-6, which is called arachidonic acid, that is degenerated to the most powerful pro-inflammatory element that the body sees, prostaglandin E2. So there's a real advantage to having more omega-6 than omega-3s in our bodies. But unfortunately, because of the way we feed the animals that we eat and the sources of our food, the eggs, for example, we don't get the ideal ratio of 1 to 1, or it would actually be better if it was 4 times as much omega-3 as it is omega-6. But we have, on average, with the North American diet, about 35 to 40 times as much omega-6 as we do omega-3. Ergo, the body takes what it has in good supply and uses it when there is another building material that's better. It's kind of like taking fiberboard and using it because you don't have a good piece of fir. So that you can get proper lumber and you can build a house that's a whole lot better in terms of structural integrity if you're using the best of what can be out there. Now, you don't have anything else, you use fiberboard. And that's what the body is like. If it hasn't got enough omega-3s, it's going to use omega-6s. But the benefits are really quite striking. It supports cardiovascular health. It helps to reduce serum triglycerides. It supports cognitive health and brain function, most especially in children as they're growing up. And frankly, it's better to get it from fish oil than it is to get it from vegetable sources, because the vegetable source provides a substance which we call EPA, and that's a precursor to the DHA and to the EPA that we really want to get to. So take the DHA, take the EPA directly in fish oil, and again, I would emphasize small fish that are one step removed from the phytoplankton and from the algae, which is the source of the omega-3, the lipid from plants. Because if you're getting it from salmon, it's probably been farmed, and that's not a good idea. And if you're getting it from an apex predator, a larger fish, a shark oil, whatever, you're not going to be getting the purity that you would if you just take it from the anchovies. We have very good, 1,800 milligrams, an adequate amount for a daily supplement in our diet, even if we're not eating other kinds of fish.
And it's small fish, right?
Oh, it's absolutely small fish. So we're getting it one step removed from the phytoplankton, which is the source. And that, again, is it's a perfectly great addition, and this is a wonderful product, and it's too bad we don't use more of it. Now, I use more than is recommended.
How much do you take?
Take 6.
I do too. 3 in the morning and 3 in the night.
Absolutely love it. I feel it makes a big impact in my health and wellness, and from the brain function perspective, I feel that it helps me from a mood perspective, and in addition to the Elevive, and so I feel a difference. So thank you very much. Let's quickly jump into 2 other topics, Limitless and Reload. I'll cover quickly Limitless, and I'm going to ask you to talk about Reload a bit, Dr. Templeman. Limitless, basically what we're coming down to is this. We got a big energy market out there. People are paying top dollar. If you don't trust me, walk into a 7-Eleven and look at what's existing in those 7-Elevens. They're now turning into energy supplement 7-Elevens. That's really what it is. I mean, they're just completely packed with, whether it be Red Bull, Monster, Rockstar, even the red lines are starting to come in there, NOS. You're starting to recognize these brands are starting to pop up, and of course 5-Hour Energy. And the energy market is growing rapidly. It's a $14 billion market currently, and it's predicted by some analysts to be as much as double by the year 2020. And so people are looking for it. People are spending the money. They're spending the money every single day. And this becomes a transfer of dollars, and it's almost like a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. You talked about synthetic vitamins and minerals, Dr. Templeman. In these energy supplements and these energy drinks that you see are synthetic caffeine. I can't go into all the details right now. I wish we could take the time. It devotes an entire call to something like this. But that's one of the key points, synthetic caffeine. And the amount of adrenal burn that it attacks our adrenal system, and that in and of itself, the sugar content is enormous in these energy drinks. And as much as actually the lower amounts are 7 teaspoons of sugar for a Red Bull, but in the Monsters and Rockstar, if you drink the whole can, you're talking 14 to 16 teaspoons. Now, if you happen to be drinking Mountain Dew, for example, and a person really likes Mountain Dew, and that's very common for an energy supplement that people turn to it, depending on the size. Just start. You're looking at 20 ounces, okay, you're getting into 32 ounces, you get into the, heaven forbid, the 64 ounce, you're starting to get into some serious amounts of sugar. You might as well just open up a bag of sugar and start pouring it in your mouth. And so there's a lot of serious side effects. Limitless, natural form of caffeine found in the form of green tea, as a green tea extract. We've got GABA as an amino acid. It acts as a neurotransmitter. Panax ginseng in there acts as an adaptogenic herb. And I like to say it helps awaken the mind. It really works well from a awakening of the mind perspective. There's mangosteen and taurine, electrolyte balance. Gata cola, cognitive health, and coconut water. See, in energies, when you're taking in caffeine, it naturally dehydrates you, and so the coconut water helps balance that out. And so coming in anywhere between, depending on your taxes where you're at, somewhere around $1.75 a serving, again, depending on where you're at. I mean, that is incredible. Incredible. Consider that at a store, if you're lucky, you're paying about $2.25 for a Red Bull, and that's the lower end energy supplement out there. And so it's very, very well priced and much healthier solution, and it works for a very long time. The amount of spikes and crashes that take place with energy drink supplement is very great, and this helps to. For me personally, when I take it, it lasts the whole day. I don't need to be taking more than one in a day. And so I love this product. And consider that. Consider when you talk to people, transfer of dollars, helping them from a healthier perspective. So reloads, part of the Pro line, Dr. Templeman. One thing that I always come back to what you talk about here. When we introduced this, you talked about it's bigger than just after workout. It's bigger than after workout. These branched chain amino acids, yes, it's kind of been pegged as this after workout product, which is great for that, definitely replenishing the muscles and so forth. But it's bigger than that. And you always said that. You even told me to drink it before bed, and I started doing it and it's made a difference. So tell us why. Why is it bigger than workouts? Why is it bigger? Drink it before bed.
Well, there are a few tissues in the body that are more dynamic than muscle. There's a constant turnover. Whether you're a gym rat or whether you're just a regular person, there's a constant turnover. And what really matters is that as you age, unfortunately, you're destroying more muscle than you are replacing, even though this turnover takes place virtually on a daily basis. But the most dynamic time, aside from hard out work in the gym, for the replacement or the building of muscle is in stage 3 sleep. So when your when your brain is asleep, when your brain is actually very, very deep into the deepest level of sleep, your body is very busy at building muscle. And so by taking the branched chain amino acids, which are essential because they're the rate limiting factor that determines how effectively and with what speed the proteins that are going to be laid down to make up muscle, how effectively is that going to happen? If you take it before you go to bed, then when you do hit the stage 3 sleep and your muscles become dynamic in the sense of turnover, you're going to have what you require right there as a rate limiting factor. So it makes sense to take it at night. And it certainly makes sense if you're over 45 and you're not in the gym every day. You need this as badly as anyone who goes to the gym because you are undergoing a process of gradual lean body mass loss called sarcopenia. Very, very dangerous. Results in all the falls that old people have. It's a very severe effect of aging that is detrimental. And so slowing that down any way you can, exercise a wonderful way of doing it, but supplementation also, in the absence of exercise, makes this process slow down.
Excellent. There you have it, right from Dr. Templeman himself. We've got packages. It's Memorial Day weekend.
In Canada.
Well, not in Canada.
Is it May 2-4 in Canada?
I think it's May 2-4
May
in Canada.
2-4 weekend
Yes.
in Canada.
I think it is. Oh, was it last weekend?
No, it's the 23rd today.
Well, okay.
Sometimes it's not.
They're celebrating something.
Yeah. You know those Canadians, they take any excuse for holidays.
We're Canadians, we could say that. So, Yoko, why don't you tell us about some exciting promotions that we have going this weekend through the whole weekend, this exciting time. So we talked about these great products, so tell them what great prices they can get.
Okay, so we have a summer sizzle promotion for the Memorial Day weekend. It includes and features all the products that Dr. Templeman and Joe just covered right now, plus some great personal care products that will help protect your skin from the harmful UV damage and keep it youthful and young and illuminating, so beautiful skin. For details, definitely go and visit XANGO.com. There is a Summer Sizzle button right now where you can click and find all the information about the promotions. We have the Vigor Pack that includes Reload and El Aviv. You'll have a savings of $22. Feel Good Pack that includes Limitless 365, Precise Omega-3. You'll have a savings of $20. And we also have some great savings on the Glimpse products too. Glimpse Refresh and Protect with a set of 2 toners and a mineral treatment. Mineral treatment is a great item for UV protection. It's all safe and natural and clean formulation. Definitely recommend it for the summer season, not only for women but also men as well. So Joe, it's great for your skin, and this actually has a savings value of $35. So it's almost like getting one of the products for free. Glimpse Luminescence Brighten is another great product for UV skincare and just protecting your skin with great antioxidant treatment for your skin. So we have a 2-pack with $46 savings. Now all of this information is listed on the website that I just mentioned. Go straight to XANGO.com and click on the Summer Sizzle link, and you'll see the preview of all the great product information and savings that I just mentioned. We have, in addition to that, a special offer for the people that are calling in right now. Just for the people that are calling in right now, if you call our call center and order any of these items, we're going to add a free Saveo shaker cup to your order. So we'll add it to your order right now. It's only available for the callers. And if you call and place that order between now to midnight tomorrow, you'll receive, again, additional Saveo shaker cup.
Wow, very cool.
Yes.
This is some pretty incredible savings this weekend, folks. Mm-hmm. So let's not slow down. It's time for month end. We got a whole week before month end. Let's push for a strong month end. There should be no reason why Memorial Day weekend here in the United States and should be any reason why we should slow down. And Yoko, where can they find that information? If there's a lot that you covered.
No, so XANGO.com. If you go to XANGO.com, on the bottom there are 4 buttons right now. One of them that I'm actually going to look up right now. The second from the left, it says check out our Summer Sizzle promotions. It has a nice umbrella. If you click on that, you'll see all the information right there.
Excellent. Thank you, Yoko.
It's like a Hawaii shot.
Thank you for your efforts in that, Yoko. We really appreciate it. And it's month end. We're pushing for a strong month end. We have one extra business day in the month of May, so let's take advantage of it, folks. Let's have. You're seeing a lot of home meetings going on, whether it be, Aaron was in St. Louis for a meeting last night, but the night before, Tessa Greenspan had a meeting in her house and packed the house full. It was an MV30 meeting. It was fantastic. When I was in Australia, I was there in Melbourne, and the night before, Nikki had a meeting in her house, and there were over 40 people packed in her house. It was incredible. Let's take advantage of helping people know what we have to offer from a product perspective and business perspective. Invite them to your house. Have them over. I know Lisa and Randy Collins, you got one going tonight, and I'm going to be piping in just a couple hours. And, let's take advantage of the time. Let's push for a strong summer, and a strong month end this month. Now, we've got Bold coming up in September. I want us to build towards Bold. I invite us all to start from the top down. Commit to your groups. Bring them there. Gordon, why do they need to be at Bold? Why is this such an important thing?
I love how Joe throws me a topic. I'm like, I didn't know I was speaking about bold.
Because you are bold.
I am bold. Oh, it's nice save, Beverly. Well, for those who have never heard this phrase, and I can't imagine if you've been in XANGO for more than a few weeks, you wouldn't have heard this, but we like to say that leaders are born at events, or leaders are born at functions. And our conventions are an amazing thing. It's like it's combining energy and camaraderie and inspiration and recognition, and we have some great moments that we have at convention on stage that involve people like Dr. Templeman, talented education, and we have business education that happens at conventions, but we also have wonderful moments of recreation, and our first welcome reception, the opening night officially kicking off convention, is it's an 80s theme.
Yay!
It does say dance party. You don't have to dance. I have a theory. I got married, and I think the last time I danced was at my wedding. And that was because men don't really have to dance. After you get married, men, you've already done the work. Now you don't have to dance. But I said, as far as the theme goes, Joe and I are kind of children of the 80s. If you actually were in Shelburne, Ontario, Canada, circa 1986, you would have seen some really bad hairstyles. Boys without a product in our hair and
balloon pants.
Yes, and parachute pants. And
I love that.
Anyway, so we are embracing the fun, fluorescent, outrageous 80s at our opening reception. So for Gary, I expect to see something like a very bad Donald Trump pink eye or something, and you may see it's more than one Miami Vice outfit, but that is the opening night of convention, and I will promise you it will be. We will have an amazing time for a couple of days in Salt Lake City, and I got to also just throw in that we have some amazing product announcements that you will.
Yes.
Product announcements that I will say this, folks, having gone over them today with our product marketing team, you do not want to miss this event because many of them will not be available outside a convention. These are going to be fantastic that will help you with your business and help you with your health and wellness, so you need to be there.
Yeah, all the cool kids are doing it. You need to be there or be square. You'll see a lot of some of the things that you expect to see at convention and some of the fun things that we've done historically and a whole bunch of new stuff that we have never done before and we may never do again. It's going to be pretty exciting stuff.
Good.
So, I'll have to throw in my 2 cents also about the comments that were made by Fred and Joe and Yoko and some of the folks. These are some great supplements we're talking about today and a great chance to, Fred was mentioning about diets being insufficient and incomplete and we sell food supplements. They supplement, and foods do affect moods. For those of you who have never taken a product like Elavive or Limitless or Rest and Renew, you know that our food supplements affect moods. And you can take a Rest and Renew, and within 20 minutes, you know you've taken that. And if you've taken a Limitless, you know that that's an immediate spark to your central nervous system. And some of our supplements, like in case of an Elavive, it may take you a few days to feel the effects, and so maybe even a few weeks with something like an omega-3. But the thing that we can tell you is that you're putting some of the greatest stuff in your body ever, and never begrudge the money that you spend on your own health and wellness, because life is short. You want to make the most of it. And so I'm going to turn it back to Joe.
Thank you, Gordon. Thanks, big brother. So create strategies to drive people towards bold. You will not regret it. You need people there. It's going to help not only you, but your business. So work your teams to work towards there. Set up strategies to get them going, level by level by level. If you're a 20K, get your 5Ks to commit to a certain level, certain amount of tickets. Get your 1Ks to commit to a certain amount of tickets. Create strategies to get there. You will not be disappointed. It'll only help your business. So at convention, speaking of convention, 2 years ago, I actually did something that was a little off the wall, and I'll hope you'll allow me just a couple minutes to close here with a thought. I opened up to the simplicity of a child's book that happens to be one of the most profound books, in my opinion, that's ever been written. And it's Dr. Seuss's "Oh, the Places You'll Go." And, sometimes in life, you'll wake up, and it's not quite what you were expecting was going to happen on that particular day, that particular week, maybe that particular month. And we all have those days. We all have those days. And if you'll allow me, I'm just going to share a few thoughts as a closing thought tonight from Dr. Seuss. So consider it a late afternoon, maybe an early evening, wherever you're at, way to wind down the day as you're going into the day, and consider these thoughts. Consider these thoughts, because whether you happen to be in Oklahoma and you wake up to a life completely changed, or whether it be challenges within your family or within your business, whatever it may be, sometimes this happens in life. And so, for whatever it's worth, permit me just a minute or two here to share. In this book, he talks about how life is up and it's down, and there's great things that happen and so forth. And at the last few pages of the book, he just says this: "Oh, the places you'll go. There is fun to be done, there are points to be scored, there are games to be won, and the magical things that you can do with that ball will make you the winningest winner of all. Fame, you'll be famous as famous can be, with the whole wide world watching you win on TV, except when they don't. Because sometimes they won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too, games that you can't win because you'll play against you. All alone, whether you like it or not, alone will be something you'll be quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There are some down the road between hither and yon that can scare you so much you won't want to go on. But on you will go, though the weather be foul, on you will go, though the enemies prowl. On you will go, though the hack and cracks howl. On you will onward up many a frightening creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. And on you will hike, and I know you'll hike far and face up to the problems, whatever they are. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So your name, Fox Brim or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Ali Van Allen O'Shea, you're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. So here's your message tonight, folks. We got incredible products. We got an incredible opportunity. Your mountain is waiting. All of our mountain is waiting. Let's move forward. So let's get on our way. We welcome you. We're so grateful to be with you today. We wish you an incredible evening or day wherever you may be. Thank you for being part of XANGO. We love you. Have a great day. Thank you.